So this podcast is going to be a bit of a continuation of another podcast, like an update, if you like,
Yeah.
of another podcast that we did. First of all, there's an errata that I have to explain. In the other podcast, I said that Peter Thiel, a guy called Peter Thiel, he was the boss of Nvidia, and that wasn't the case. He's just a billionaire investor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I say just,
Yes. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, yeah. Rolls off the tongue. Yes, I know. Yeah.
so on we go. So after Peter Thiel and Softbank,
Mm.
to the tune of £5 billion between them, sold all their shares in the company Nvidia, it brought Wall Street to a halt. Nvidia brought Wall Street to a halt by claiming their sales are absolutely booming. Why didn't why didn't Thiel and SoftBank see the order books in the world's largest company? How did they not see this?
Mm.
The current CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, said there's been a lot of talk about an AI bubble. We see something very different, he said. On Tuesday, we dedicated our podcast to this subject,
Yeah.
and everybody on the financial face of the earth believed something was going to pop.
Mm.
Right? And so we were just reporting what they were saying.
Yeah.
Sales and profits apparently have been so expressive in Nvidia
Mm.
that the person getting the Salesman of the Year trophy this time round must have been making a mint. He must have been making a fortune.
Yes. Yeah.
For more than 30 years, the Nvidia company has been in the chip making industry, and when the AI boom came around, the company got a very welcome boost.
Mm.
And the company is now valued at $5 trillion,
Mm.
and it supplies 90% of the chips in the US. So, of course, if it started to go bust, what would that do to the infrastructure of the US?
Ouch. Yes.
So large is the company, it now has its own gravitational pull. So much so, it influences the entire US stock market. So let me ask you again. If Nvidia started to go bust, what would happen to these US stock markets? For some reason, Peter Thiel and SoftBank failed to see the positive numbers as a good thing. I believe that they think that the AI bubble, it's all at Nvidia. Will it be allowed to fail? Will Nvidia be allowed to fail if it went tits up? Will governments and entities all over the world do their utmost to keep everything looking perky at Nvidia to make sure that their investments stay where they are? Remember Enron?
Mm.
Enron is chicken feed compared to Nvidia. $5 trillion. Could be another 2008, only with AI this time. So what I'm trying to get at here,
Yeah.
people, is that the experts have been saying that people have been investing too much money in AI. Well, they haven't been saying where. And Thiel and SoftBank are looking at the writing on the wall and saying, yes, Nvidia has been receiving $5 trillion. Does Nvidia value $5 trillion? And if it goes bust, what's going to happen? That is where the bubble is.
Right.
That is where the bubble is. I can't see a small company, because if Nvidia goes, a whole host of other companies are going to
Well,
go.
okay. If supply companies go into things, yes. Right.
It's going to be one of those too big to fail companies.
No such thing. But yeah.
No,
Um. Uh. It's yeah, the requirements for AI. I mean, it's getting back to the argument I was trying to use the other day that none of us know exactly how AI is going to shape our futures, what we're using AI for. Um, and if you own a company, you can't necessarily create an industry. The industry is created by what people need.
Yeah, on the contrary, I think that if you had a company and waiting for the needs to come up, you've got to find out.
Uh,
You've got to be the leader of, especially when it comes to AI. Nvidia
well,
is not going to wait for somebody to come up with
no,
a beautiful plan. They're going to say what we've got going on now is
okay,
this and this and this,
yeah,
because every day they need to keep increasing and increasing and increasing their sales to
yeah.
feed the beast that it is.
Now we're getting back to, yeah, Apple years ago. Apple created an industry, really. Apple, and a couple of others, but yeah, Apple with the laser printing, the color laser printing. They found a company that produced things. They produced it. They put this components in something and marketed it. Yeah, Apple was a brilliant marketer. Um, and other things, they're innovative, smartphones, etc., etc., etc. Yeah,
There you are.
they created an industry, but there was no guarantees how people would use this
That's right.
technology. And again, this is a point I'm making about AI. How are people using AI? Um,
Well, you just go back on what you just said.
mm,
You said that Apple created different versions of the same thing.
yeah, okay,
They invented the need
mm,
of the people. They didn't wait for the people to say we need this.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I said I can agree, but also, but you can't predict if people will jump onto things. Apple have had some failures as well. Steve, there is a famous talk by Steve Jobs when he's
Mm,
answering one of his programmers about when they dropped the scheme he was working on, and he says we got to make decisions on what's good and what's bad, or not what's good and what's bad, what's hot, what's not really.
yeah,
You can have perfectly good things, um, and it doesn't necessarily mean people are going to get excited about it.
no, of course.
Um, and and sometimes things get parked and then they get revisited and come back later. Yeah,
Yep,
I mean, knowledge doesn't suddenly disappear. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I've still got books. I've got books in front of me here, fair enough, dating from the 1980s and 90s that are now coming into relevance with the
knowledge,
technology in them.
knowledge, knowledge disappears at NASA.
Okay, put man on the moon. It hasn't disappeared. It's just
They've lost everything.
apparently, allegedly. I can no. Yeah, I mean, they managed to land people there with 3.5K of RAM, etc.
Yeah,
Yes, I know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know, I know, I know that. Yeah. We got
Come
we
on,
got
anyway, let's
yeah,
concentrate
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
Um, and yeah, what's going to happen when we say the bubble burst? I mean, maybe people are pushing in the wrong direction with AI. I mean, when we use Chat GPT, that's an underuse of AI. That's obvious. I want to know, as I said, I want to know the capital of this country and what the population is. It gives me instant results. Whereas I could go to an atlas on a book behind me and look that up. My atlas is from the 1980s. Yeah. It doesn't mean the earth has changed, but yeah, probably stats stuff. But you can go online and find that out, but it gives you it there straight away and where the data comes from. Um, if you believe the data, you still got to use a bit of critical thinking, but you do with books. Um, what am I going to use AI for? I gave the example industrial use of having something that monitors all the time. AI can make split decisions if something's good or bad, leaving the production plant where there'll be a human looking there. Hey Fred, are we going for a tea break? Yeah, right, mate. They go 5 products that are inferior. Yeah. Um, so yeah, AI doesn't do that. AI could look at these and monitor it all the time, which is exactly how Tesla drives a car down the road. The same type of technology in it. Yep. Um, that is the use for me for AI. Takes out menial tasks of things that were prone to failure to begin with, or monitoring in very dangerous situations being able to make a decision, and then you can always update with new knowledge onto it. Yeah, you should be looking for this, and this now. I don't have to put AI on a training course. I can just give it the relevant information. So again, I don't think it's going to ultimately destroy jobs. It's not destroying programming jobs. Now the programming industry, when people have tried to use it to program, are now they've probably saved having 2 programmers and now got 4 programmers looking at the errors that AI do. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. You don't know where you can't predict where AI is going to land with regards its use. Humans are unpredictable as well. How we're going to use it, this technology, what we're going to use. We might not always use the best technology, but it's something that we've grasped onto. Yeah. And I don't know. Nvidia is a hardware manufacturer ultimately, who got to produce hardware that fits into what the criteria of what people want to buy. I could produce a product. I could produce 2 million units of this product. I could tell people about this product. Is it any use to people outside my particular world? I mean, and if it isn't, how do I improve that? You know, I've got to cater for a market that's there, not have the market cater for me. If I'm selling people things I think are really, really useful, it's like, yeah, Apple produced, or research and development produced things. They dropped a lot of things as well. You could get very excited in the design office about something as a nerd or as a geek that's designed it, and only geeks and nerds will buy it. Yeah. And notoriously, they don't have that much money. What's good for the general population? What's good for the general industry? The mining industry, for example, will be looking at AI. How can this help us look for, I mean, all AI does is look for patterns and trends. And we know how bad it is at doing art. Okay. Some people say it does good music and things. Okay. But for doing art, we've seen some art that AI have produced, and one local authority has put some AI art on a wall. It's got dogs without heads on. It's quite grotesque, and people with missing limbs. It's still not there yet. That's, again, AI isn't for art, what we're thinking about, or anything else. AI has got to have a place in industry. How are we going to adopt this? The mining industry, the marketing industry may want to adopt AI to look at programs and trends and everything else. How can it do that? And humans are unpredictable. When we talk about miners, as I go back to the mining again, it's looking how to predict where minerals are under the ground, what the criteria.
We're talking about what we're talking once again. We're starting to slip into that what AI does, and not necessarily where the bubble is.
Well, okay, the bubble will burst when people aren't buying things, aren't able to use it. The amount of money gone in and the returns on it are not good. People suddenly lose a lot of money very quickly. That's what.
I think the bubble's going to burst is when the people realise that the king has no clothes.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
that they've overinvested in something,
which is exactly what I'm saying. We're trying to develop something or guess where these products are going to go. It's difficult to do. You've got to invest in research and development. Something might be exciting and new. Somebody may be good at selling. Oh well, we've got this innovation that this AI will be able to do something, and it's nowhere near doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at here is that people who were investing seem to have invested in just one place.
Yeah, and
which is why Nvidia is the largest company in the world.
Well, okay,
they've all hedged the bets on Nvidia.
Well, I mean,
talk about putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, well, Nvidia would provide the hardware, the chips, etc., for AI things, and there will be different requirements,
Yep, of
different
course.
chips will go into different requirements, and
Right.
it's guessing what the requirements are. And again, what's been researched and developed, what's been developed for requirements. And it's like I said, specific industries will want specific tools that will require specific, probably some very, very specific things for the chips to be able to do. One size doesn't fit all, always. Um, and um, and yeah, they're producing something that's the heart of everything, and there'll be other players involved as well. So again, with technology, it's sometimes very, very difficult to predict how it goes. We are human beings. How are we going to predict what's going to be required? Okay, people have had to invest heavily in research and development that may not realize their the full potential of what the full value, monetary value of what they were promised or what they believe they should be getting. And again, when we're dealing with progress, when we're dealing with technology, whereas we all find it very interesting and everything else. I mean, military technology with AI is probably a growth industry. You've got an autonomous drone flying overhead that will make a decision if something is a target or not. It only takes one mistake on that score, and the whole thing collapses. Militarily, yeah, there's going to be
Well, I'm sure that Nvidia has got the very, 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 very best people
yeah,
working on that as you are speaking.
yeah,
Like I said, Nvidia, it supplies 90% of the chips that being sold in the US,
yeah.
which means that Nvidia can only grow another 10%,
Oh,
and
yeah, they're hit pinnacle.
then it
Yeah.
becomes what happens after that?
Well, okay. Technology stops for a time. Everybody's got what they need.
And the
Everything.
investment,
Yeah, but that's what I said. That's it. People aren't going to realize the full potential of what they actually
that's right.
believe they were going to get.
That's
And
right.
I mean, but
And
that's going to happen. That's going to happen with all technologies eventually. It'll hit a
yes,
pinnacle.
yes, of course.
We've all,
Well,
we've,
I mean
we've all,
that's capitalism.
yeah,
That's capitalism,
yeah,
right? It doesn't need to be about technology. It can be about anything,
yeah,
anything, right? That's capitalism. If Nvidia, for example, saturates the market 100%,
mm,
any other chip making company in the US will sell nothing,
yeah,
and they will all go to they will all go to the wall.
yeah,
So you know, then and Nvidia can't sell anymore, then
mm,
eventually they go to the wall,
yeah.
and that because people are pulling the money out because there's no more because investors want to have return on their investment.
That's it.
They,
They
they
want
just
to.
don't want to
I
be in the
mean,
background going rah rah rah.
yeah. I mean, do you do long term? I mean, long term, probably investment in AI will be a good thing if you're quite generic about it and you leave your money there and think, well, I'm not going to make exciting profits in 3 years. I might make exciting profits in 20 years. But it'll be a slow development. It
I,
it it depends on, like I say, there's a lot of factors. The perfect, yeah, you need the winds all blowing in the right direction for everything to come good. And then,
I wouldn't I wouldn't invest for 20 years on artificial intelligence
well,
because I think I really think like Thiel and
mm,
like SoftBank.
yeah,
I think that Nvidia, I think, has come to the top, and
yeah,
there's not much further up it can go.
well,
And
that's
so
it.
what happens is that in the capitalist world, if you
Mm,
can't go up, you can only go down.
yeah, I mean, how big a hit will it be? I mean, how will they deal with it? As I say, at the moment, we're living in a high tech world, as high tech as we're going to get at the moment.
Yeah,
Um, and we can't all suddenly, companies don't have the capital, won't have the capital to suddenly reinvest in all their money or something they probably put in 5 years ago. Yeah, when they put money in for 20 years, that with their budget. Um, I use 20. I'm grabbing 20 out of the air all the time because yeah, when you install something, you do it for 25 years life, and then you expect to reinstall, then put the latest technology in after that. We're moving so quickly now. Maybe you're going to end up in the scenarios, you're going to have a lot of smaller companies that do specialist in specific areas of tech. And I mean, yeah, you go online, and if we talk about AI in general, there's different AI models, IALs that do specific items, that do specific tasks. Some will specialize in programming, some will specialize in graphics.
Nvidia's got all that covered.
Yeah.
90% of the market, sir.
But
90% of the market. If
but
I think just to wrap this up, I
yeah,
think if the bubble's going to pop, it's going to pop. It's not going to pop. It's going to boom.
yeah,
That's the first thing.
yeah.
And I think Nvidia is going to be the place where it's going to happen.
Well, it will be like the big star getting exploding, and then you're going into red dwarf or white dwarf and red dwarf.